Joining us now to discuss is Avi Melamed, a former Israeli intelligence official and former senior official on Arab affairs. Avi, good to have you with us. Israel has said it will respond to Iran's strikes. What kind of response do you expect?
Well, I think we should expect a significant response. I think that the Israeli response likely will be coordinated with the United States. Israeli officials of the government said that they are going to have a severe response.
Thank you so much. Sorry, the sound glitched there a little. So before the strike, the IDF said that all Israelis went into bomb shelters. Since the strikes, how do regular Israelis view what happened and what kind of conversations are they having about how the country should proceed?
Well, I can tell you, I've been in touch with my kids that were in shelter, and they were fine, keeping a high morale. We all understand the severe challenge that we are facing. Unfortunately, we have been in this place many, many times. We are fighting for our freedom and our independence, and we are determined to linger on and to continue to flourish.
Now, you've said that Iran's strikes last night could be an attempt to reestablish its deterrence towards Israel. What did you mean by that?
Well, in the last couple of months, Israel has been significantly restoring its deterrence following October 7, particularly given the major strikes that Israel had Hezbollah, Iran's major proxy. So the cumulative impact of the Israeli achievements, both in Gaza Strip and in Lebanon, against Hezbollah and against Hamas, kind of like eroded the image of the Iranian regime and basically cracked the axis of resistance that is backed by the Iranians. In fact, for the last couple of years, there has been a lot of mockery, so to speaking, in the discussion in the Middle East, mocking the Iranian regime and the proxies. And in the Middle East, sometimes the image of deterrence is not less significant than deterrence itself. For the Mullah regime in Tehran, as well as for its proxies, the ability to project might is enormously significant, and that ability obviously has been significantly challenged in the last couple of weeks given to the Israeli achievements. So the Mullah regime basically is trying to do some kind of like an act to stop the avalanche of the collapsing image of its proxies and itself. And hence, I would say that's the background for the Iranian major attack last night.
Now, Iran gave little warning this time and targeted military bases, two notable differences from their last strike on Israel. Does this suggest Iran isn't really looking to escalate, or that it is?
Well, I think that we have to be more accurate when we are talking about the nature of the Iranian attack. This is an indiscriminating attack. You're launching 200 missiles, ballistic missiles on a massively populated areas. When you looked last night, the map of sirens of Israel, all of Israel was one big siren. My kids had to run to shelters. Other people had to run the shelters. They are not military bases and they are not Air Force bases. So the Iranians, as always, like their proxies, are deliberately, knowingly, and intentionally, and indiscriminately are targeting the Israeli civilians. I can promise you that the Israeli response is going to be very much different from the Iranian in the sense that it's going to be very much pinpoint. And that will be one major difference between the things. When you are shooting 200 missiles on a state, you should expect ramifications and consequences.
And Netanyahu had said yesterday that whoever attacks you, you attack them. And there are calls for Israel to show restraint. You're talking about this approach that Israel, has to pinpoint its targets and not allow this to escalate further, doing so, you've said. So, but does the pressure it's getting affect anything about its approach? And do you think Israel will take that into consideration?
Israel takes all kind of things into consideration, but in the end of the day, here is the basic thing. When you live in a state and another state is targeting you with hundreds of missiles, targeting your cities and civilians, you have to make clear to the aggressor that this is something that is going to pay for dearly. And Israel will do that. Israel has no choice. It's under attack, and it has to protect itself and its citizens. And therefore, we should expect a significant Israeli response that will be different from the previous one, following Iran attacks on April 13 and 14. Then back then, it was a symbolic response. And today, I think we should expect a significant response.
And considering Iran, does fund Hezbollah and Hamas, and their attacks were fairly indiscriminate as well. So the contrast can be seen pretty clearly. Iran warned that countries that helped intercept the rockets targeting Israel, would be held responsible. Now, the U.S. has said that there will be consequences for Iran, but didn't specify what exactly. Before the strikes, the U.S. said it was sending thousands more troops to the region. Do you see U.S. support for Israel in the conflict evolving?
Well, the U.S. very clearly made the statement that it would stand by Israel, and obviously the U.S. has to do that. The United States have to understand this is a pivotal moment. The time for avoiding the confrontation with the Mullah regime, that time is up. And now it's time to basically decisively confront this bully, brutal, dangerous, and murderous regime. And to make it clear to this regime that it cannot continue bullying this whole region and the whole world. Now, the United States of America, for a long period of time, as well as other Western powers, basically choose to kick their can down the road, thinking that somehow the problem is going to be solved. It was not solved. It got much more severe, to the point where we are now at the edge of a massive escalation in the region. The lesson here is very simple. If you don't deal with a bully when he's little, you are going to deal with this bully when he's big. No wonder that Iran is now threatening all the world, because the Iranians understood all those years that they can either threat or attack and nothing happens to them. There are no repercussions. It's time to change that.
All right.
Fundamentally.
Thank you so much, Avi. Great to speak with you.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
And you.